Hello everybody and welcome to another behind the scenes writing vlog. I feel a little bit cheesy. Maybe not cheesy is not the word. I feel a little, I don't know, embarrassed to share this. Well, I'm embarrassed for myself because I'm so excited about this first piece of news for you. I published my first crime thriller novella on the 27th of January, and so it's been less than a month at this stage, so the date is currently the 18th of February. So it's been less than a month, and I have my very first, on Sunday, I got my very first subscriber who's signed up from the back of my books, and I can sort of tell that on my email list because I created a very special list for people who got to the back of the book and signed up. So I'm actually super excited for several reasons, because number one, I didn't actually have to create, because some of my subscribers, you know, are family and friends, others where I've created a Facebook ad and targeted particular people who have expressed interest in crime thrillers and ebooks and stuff like that, and I've had people sign up for my short story The Lawn. Whereas with this particular subscriber, they've read my book, like they've gone to the back of the book and signed up. I'm super excited. I know that's super weird. I'm just far too excited and it's embarrassing. But anyway, I move on. The other drama that's been going on this week, well, it hasn't been going on for a week. It's been happening since I press publish on my crime thriller novella, and that is my MacBook I don't want to jinx it because it's sort of right here, but it's dying. I just don't want to offend him, but he's dying. It's really sad. So basically what happened is, I know I'm talking about my computer like it's a real thing, it's a bit creepy, but what has happened is at the beginning of this week it's gotten really bad, and basically what I think has gone wrong is the motherboard is starting to fail. And my book and my MacBook is only 4 years old, and usually a motherboard failure on a Mac usually happens somewhere between 8 to 10 years after purchase. And the reason why I know this isn't my first Mac. I've been buying Macs since the early 2000s, and usually I've had a MacBook. I had an iBook for like 8 years, and then the motherboard started to fail and it started to shut down and you've had to restart it. And my MacBook has done that twice this week alone. Like it's failed a few times, and it's getting to the point where it's getting in the way of me doing things. Like I was editing last week's vlog, which was behind the scenes vlog number 17, and it failed halfway through there and it didn't save. I was in Photoshop and it didn't save, and it's definitely not a Photoshop thing, because last time it just happened when I had Evernote open, and that was like a regular app. So it's a bit sad, but it's starting to fail, and I'm a bit annoyed because this Mac that I purchased it in 2015 and it's 4 years old at best. Yeah, it's 4 years old, four and a half years old-ish. Like, you would never know I worked in finance. The fact that I count on my fingers, it's a bit sad. Enough about tech dramas. Technology just is starting to drive me insane at the moment. In terms of books, I'm actually reading something really exciting at the moment, and I thought I'd share it with you because this is, yeah, because you're probably following me because you've probably watched one of my book hauls, or my book haul, or my video podcast. I got two. My second video podcast, which is called Thriller Novel Nerd Podcast. So you probably watched an episode like that, and that's how you've stumbled across this particular writing blog. So at the moment I'm reading a book called, for some reason the imagery on this book has changed and the author's slightly changed their name, the book title and the cover, but this is not what it looks like. But it's now being called Deadshot, and I'm reading Deadshot by RJ, it's a really easy last name to remember, by the way, RJ Patterson. So yeah, it's called Deadshot, and I've started reading it this morning around midday, around 12 p.m. ish, and I'm already 58% of the way through the book, and it's so good. And it's a similar series to my James Lalonde crime thrillers, so that's probably why I like it so much, because he's a journalist who works for a small newspaper, and he's sort of stumbling upon these sort of crime. In this particular book, he stumbles upon the crime he gets called to cover the story, and it becomes this unintentional big thing. Well, he lives in a small town, and there's like a few people die all at once, and they're like, oh my god, we got a serial killer. So, you know, he's, as a journalist, he's really excited because he wants to, you know, uncover the truth and all of that. And I'm halfway through, and the book is excellent, and I highly recommend it. I'm actually going to create a podcast episode on top novels featuring journalists as main characters, or top thriller novels featuring journalists, and I'm gonna launch that episode soon. Like, I've gone through and I've done a lot of research, and I found a few great books, but before I do release the episode, I want to read a few of the books that are on the list for that episode, because I sort of felt a bit, not dishonest, but I wasn't comfortable with the fact that I hadn't read at least half of the books on the list. I do have intentions on reading the books on the list. They're books, like 90% of them have been books that I've wanted to read myself, and then 10% have been, I've gone into other author Facebook groups and asked other mystery, thriller and suspense writers whether they have books featuring journalists in these particular genres, and they've come back to me and go, oh yeah, my series, and then I've found a whole bunch of other books that I want to read too. So yeah, reading problems. Yeah, I've got lots of books I want to read and very little time. Now, on to my news with book 2. So I finally made a decision about what I want to do with my second book. As I mentioned in the previous vlog, I'm going to do a complete rewrite, and I go into the details about why I want to do that. So if you haven't watched that, then click the icon at the top of the screen and it'll take you to that vlog and you can watch that. So basically, I was listening to a podcast diary many months ago, and I remembered it this morning, and it was by this other author who's a psychological thriller writer, who's obviously a psychological thriller author. I'll link his Amazon profile in the description box below, just in case you're curious. His name's Paul J. Teague, and he sort of mentioned in his podcast that one of his books, he decided that he was writing the story, and he had a few different suspects who committed the crime, and he had created a few different scenarios for that. Well, this is how I understood it anyway. He created a few different scenarios. It could be this person, this person, this person, and at the final hour, he decided in the final hour as to who actually committed the crimes. And I was reminded of that over the weekend. I sort of came up with that scenario on my own, and I thought, I've heard of that somewhere, and it took me a while to remember who it was, but I remembered now. Yeah, so I think that's actually quite a good idea, and I think that could be something that my book is lacking. I think because I know exactly what's going to happen, I think this could help me make my book a little more exciting. So that's what I want to do this week. I need to read through the rest of part 4 of book 2 in my James Lalonde crime thriller series, and then I want to go and create different scenarios for all the different suspects, so when they get to the confrontation scenes or the climax of the story, that I know I have options for who did it, and it's not just one person. And then once I do that, I'm actually officially ready to rewrite my story. I'm super excited. This does mean I'm probably going to have to delay my publishing schedule, but it just means I probably will get the book out in the middle of May. But who knows what's going to happen between now and then. Hope maybe I'll be able to get it done quicker. Fingers crossed, but I will keep you posted. And once I sort of fine-tune the first few chapters of this book, I'm going to share them with my mailing list subscribers. So if you aren't on my main mailing list and you want a sneak peek of the next book before anyone else does, then I'll have a link below in the description box so you can sign up for that. And when you do sign up for that list, you probably will get a monthly author update email from me, and I'll probably share with you book hauls, book reviews, stuff like that from books that I've read and purchased, because I clearly have a problem. My husband doesn't think it's a problem either, so I guess it's not really a problem. But you can tell I like books a bit too much. I mean, I'm on BookTube, it's to be expected. But anyway, I need to get back to reading the rest of part 4, and I'll see you in the next clip. So in the previous clip, I mentioned that I was having a bit of computer issues. The previous Sunday, Roland and I went onto Apple and we decided to buy me a new computer. And he sort of went through and I sort of said to him, obviously I have podcasts, I need something that has the capabilities to cope with video editing like on a weekly basis. And he went through and chose a computer on Apple with, I think he added customizations. We ordered it. We just chose standard shipping and we were told it wouldn't come until somewhere between the 25th and the 28th of February. Today it's Thursday the 20th of February, so it's 8 days early. I got this email this morning from UPS saying I have a shipment arriving from Cork Island from Apple Distribution, and it was like 10 kilos, and I was like, oh my god, my computer is coming. And guess what? It's arrived. It's here. It arrived 10 minutes ago. It took me 10 minutes to put some makeup on because I've got a few skin issues today. It's here. So I get to do an unboxing in this vlog after all. I mean, who doesn't love an unboxing, especially a tech unboxing? I do, obviously. That's Dave. A Dyson, I name our things. And I've got a name for my computer too, I'll share it with you later. So we're in my office and let the unboxing begin. I'm super excited, I'm not waiting for Roland. Sorry baby, hopefully you're watching. Probably not. Oh no, maybe he does, I don't know. Hey, I know this is a super weird angle, but it took me far too long to take off the address labels, but they've been taken off and now I can really start unboxing. And I think this camera level is the only level that makes sense, so I'm sorry, the angle of my body is not going to look really pretty, like at all. It's going to look disgusting. So in the description box below, I'm going to add in the modifications my husband made when he ordered. So when you order something from Apple, you can go through and add extra things to the computer. Like, I won't try and explain them because you'll tell straight away they have no idea what I'm talking about. But I think he upgraded the RAM and the processors because I think I've got 32 gig of RAM, which is like the virtual memory, and he changed the processor to an SSD because it comes with a Fusion drive, and apparently Roland said the Fusion drive it's only like 3 gig SSD and the rest of it is something like, it's just a standard drive. I'm not quite sure what it was. It doesn't make any sense to me, but he said it's actually better to get a SSD. So I've got 1 terabyte SSD drive in here. I didn't have to upgrade the 1 terabyte either. It just sort of came like that. But I will double check with him and I'll write in the specifications in the description box. Wow. I know. Super nerd. Just in case you're wondering, that's obviously a yoga mat, which clearly gets used, as you can see by my body. And those 3 piles of books are actually ready to be hauled by me. They've been purchased probably over the last 6 months. That's my new computer. I'm going to open it up for you. I'm so excited. It's sad, but I'm super excited. Sorry, I know this is super awkward and you can't see my face, but it's either you see my face but not the computer. Oh, love this. By the way, there's like this little grippy thing here, and you just hopefully tear. Ah, that easy. That is brilliant. Wow. And this is the keyboard. Yep. And the little mouse. Ah, little mouse. So that's the keyboard and little mouse. Super excited. I've actually already got a trackpad, and so I do prefer to use a trackpad because I feel like a trackpad is a little bit easier on your wrists and fingers, and it's actually quite good because I design my own covers. I sort of feel like it's easier to use in a program I think a trackpad is easier to use with a program like Photoshop, and also with iMovie and Final Cut Pro. I've actually purchased Final Cut Pro with this, by the way. And I also have a wireless keyboard as well, but I have the funny feeling it's exactly the same keyboard. So I've got 2 keyboards now. I've just moved my keyboard and computer out of the way because I'm going to have to put the computer somewhere, and that somewhere will be on my table. The only thing with these boxes is there's a lot of, like, a ton of foam. Oh, this opens this way. Ugh. Lucky I checked. The reason why I'm doing this is it obviously opens that way. I didn't realise. So I've got my cup of tea, I've cleared my desk as much as humanly possible, and I'm gonna pull off the styrofoam and all the packaging off the actual computer. So I thought I'd explain to you what I was doing before I start doing it, if that makes sense. I just thought I'd show you something really interesting about the packaging, because when I pulled it out of the box it was just the computer and that was it. There was no other, all the packaging is just around the actual monitor, which is also the computer part of the computer, like where all of the cards and stuff like that are, where you'd find, say, the graphics card and all of that. It's all obviously in the monitor. If you're watching this, you probably own a Mac. But I find the way they do their packaging is super interesting because they tend to save a lot of space, and I kind of like it. But I thought I'd show it to you because I'm a bit of an nerd. So I peeled off like a little shiny thing from here, and they have the cable sort of sitting straight in there, which is super cute. So I've just discovered a bit of dirt on my white desk. I mean, I clean it every week, but there seems to be more and more dirt there. But anyway, so I'm getting Dave, and I'm just going to vacuum my desk a little bit. It wasn't on autofocus. Why was it on manual focus? Shit. I've just realised I filmed an entire boxing on manual focus. I'm actually going to put these back in the box so when we move I can just put this in there, if that makes sense. And this one was actually really difficult to take off. So that's it. That's my brand new computer. Obviously I have to wait for it to boot up, and it just has, and I'm just going to go through the setup, but I won't bore you to tears with that. So I hope you liked this short unboxing portion of the weekly vlog. So I thought I'd give you a bit of an update. I'm actually waiting on my computers to transfer all of my data to each other, and yeah, it's probably going to take a long time because it's now 6 PM and I started the unboxing at 5, so it's been an hour already, so I'm not going to get any more work done for the rest of the day. But just in case you're wondering, these are my computers. That one at the moment I'm calling Donald Duck because I'm a bit of a fan, a bit of a Disney fan. And this one I'm actually thinking about calling it Miss Marple. Yeah, so I think I'm going to call the computer Miss Marple because I've sort of gone through a lot of sort of Disney themed and sort of characters. Like my phone is called the Mad Hatter, and I've got a device called White Rabbit, and we've got Donald Duck, Minnie Mouse, and Excalibur. One of my devices is called Excalibur. I've got something else in the apartment called Morgana Pendragon. So I feel like, and my husband's already stolen Camelot for his computer name. So yeah, so I sort of feel like maybe I should venture into the sort of cozy mystery thriller sort of genre into naming my devices. Do you name your devices? Let me know in the comments section. Are you crazy like me? Do you name, well, not crazy. Maybe I should stop calling myself crazy. This is bad. Do you name your devices after characters? Give them names like that, or are you just calling it your name, computer? Let me know in the comments section. Am I the only one that does this?